Hey, and welcome back to our live stream. If you're new here, this is day 8 of the How to Build an Instagram Clone with Ruby on Rails and StimulusReflex series. So if you want to watch it and this is your first video, please go back and start from day 1 because all the videos are tied together and they build up from each other. And today we're going to focus on fixing our StimulusReflex update, or actually our cable ready broadcast. So let me switch back to my terminal. And if you remember yesterday, the problem was that if we do the liking thing on one window, so that sends up the update here in the second window. But if you look at the console here, the URL is wrong. So we did some debugging last time, but I couldn't figure it out. So I had done some more research behind the scenes, and it turns out that the problem comes from this where is it? From this image tag that uses active what's it called? Active storage, and it's using that file, and this file is actually an object. It's not a file path. So problem is that when you go back and render this, I want it to be a path so that it knows where to load it and not stick it with a generic domain in front of it. So to fix that, there's a helper method called Rails blob path that you can use here, and I want to wrap this into an asset path like that. So now if I reload this Rails blob URL, Rails blob path like that. That should work now. Okay, it does. So if we look at the path now, it's the same path, only this time it knows how to reload the partial. So let me go back to the console and remove those likes. Okay, so now we're back here, and if I like it now, you'll see that I can see the image now and I can see the like, but there is another problem here. If we look at the source, we'll see that in this, where is it? In this Instacart div. Is this the one? No, this one. So in the posts div where everything re-renders, you can see the layout here, right? So it renders the partial and also the layout. So because of that, we need to go back here to the render method and say layout boss. Okay, I'll remove these likes again. Cool. So now if I like that post, you'll see it show up on the right side. And there's still one more problem. It shows the heart as liked here. And that is probably because it doesn't take into account this condition, I'm guessing. So what can we do about that? Oh, well, let me also remove this because we don't need it. Okay. I don't expect that behavior to change. Oops. Yeah, I'm missing a parenthesis. Okay. Right. So the problem now is that this heart should not show up. And I'm wondering why it does show up. So it's rendering the post. Okay, so it's probably because the current user and current user might not be the same thing when the partial is rendered on the other side. So that's a problem. I wonder how we can fix that. Let's look at the docs for a second. Cable ready, current user. Broadcast to current user, what is that? I'm wondering if I'm not signed in as the wrong user here. Let me double check. Okay, and let's, yeah, so this is Mix and Go, and this is the other user. If I reload and like it now, yeah, the same problem. Let's look at the console and see what the like. Yeah, there's nothing there about users and stuff. So obviously current user is the user that initiated the action. And that's not ideal when you render a partial, because each user needs to re-render basically that partial, but that's not possible. Yeah, I'm not sure how this should work. Current user. It would be nice to have different content sent to different users. Or actually, since the only thing that changes here is the number of likes, maybe we shouldn't render the whole thing. Maybe we should just render this. So like Instacart post likes, and then something like that, or maybe post ID likes, and then update just that. Post ID. This needs those other tags. So like that, and then probably this will be inner HTML, and then likes, and here how do I get to that pluralize method? I think I had it before. Let me yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, so Instacart post, post ID, and then likes. So that should do it. Let's see. Again, I'm gonna reset the number of likes. Refresh. Every time you change the reflex, you need to refresh the browser. Okay, so that happens here, but not here. Why would that be? I forgot to call broadcast. Oops, that doesn't look good. Pluralize likes, post likes. that should be count, because now likes is an object. Like destroy all. Again. Right, so that's better. And I would suspect that our test passes now. Okay. I'm running all the tests now, which I shouldn't do, but it's a good way to see if we have any failing tests, and we do. But the one that we were working on, which is this one, is passing. But we do have a failing test here, and I'm going to look at that in a moment. So this works, which is pretty cool. Let's see what happens if, yeah, this works both ways. Yeah, and it only works once because this second button doesn't have the StimulusReflex handler, or actually this one, because we don't have the unlike functionality, and we're going to build that in just a second. So let me fix this test, and then I'll continue with the unlike functionality. Create post feature. And the step that's failing is number 23. This one. Okay, so this is failing because this user is not signed in, so he cannot see those posts. So instead of this, I need to sign up, and that should be all. So that failed because we changed the logic to only allow signed up users, or actually signed in users, to see the posts. That's still failing. Yeah, so I'm signing up as the same user. I'm gonna create another account, John Doe 2 at, oops, John Doe 2 at example.com. Right, so now all my cucumber tests are passing, and it's a good time to commit. Let me see. So yes, I want to commit that. This is removed. Then I've changed this to use StimulusReflex, and I don't, yeah, we don't need this. This is good. This is good. And this is good. Okay, so added like via stimulus reflex. Okay. And do we have our RSpecs passing? Yep, we do. Okay, cool. So now we can do the unlike thing. So liking posts. Can like a post. Now let me add a separate file, unliking posts. I could add this to the same file, but yeah. Unliking posts. So I can unlike a post, given I've created a post, given I've liked my post. When I unlike my post, then the like icon should be disabled, and the number of likes should decrease, and I'll also change this one to say increase. Okay. Increase. So I have a few new steps which I'm gonna paste here. Like my post. Okay, and this one's gonna say unlike post. Okay, so I'm gonna create an unlike post method that says post unlike match first and click. So that means that for my view code, let me show you that view code. So if the post is liked, here, instead of having post like, the post like class, I'll have the post unlike class. Okay, so that's enough for unliking my post. And then the like icon should be disabled. I'm gonna copy that, and instead of liked, I'll probably have something called like and then a dash, and the number of likes should decrease, so this will be 0 likes. Okay, let's run that. Post unlike. Okay, so this, like I said, this should be unlike. And then I will probably send this over to a StimulusReflex action. Right. Okay. So I'm going to reuse this. And instead of like, I'll use unlike here. Post reflex. And it's basically the same thing, except instead of like, I have unlike. And then for the post model, I'll need to also have an unlike method, like that. Okay, so spec models post. Unlike removes the like record, adds or creates a like record. Okay. And so to unlike a post, I'll first need to like it. So post.like by the user, and then when I unlike it, the count should change from 1 to 0. Post spec model post spec line 17. So that's what I expect. Okay, no method. Right. So I have a post which has a bunch of likes, where user ID is user.id, and then I need to destroy that record. Given 0 arguments and expected 1. Like, where's like? Post, line 10. Likes. I'm not sure I follow. Wrong number of arguments in like. Where am I using like? Oh, okay. Same error. Given 0 expected 1. Unlike. Post unlike. Line 24. I wonder what user is. So post unlike, well, actually post likes, I want to see if that, yeah, that shows the right thing. And then post dot unlike bang user. I'm missing something and I don't know what it is. Unlike expects 1 argument and I'm giving it 0 arguments. But I'm not. I'm giving it 1 argument. I'm not sure what's going on. Like user. Let me just change this name for a second because I'm confused. Why does it say I'm not giving it? It looks like user is nil or something. But it's not. Interesting. I'm just trying to comment things out and see if something else is causing it. Yeah. Okay. So it looks like the implementation of this line here is off. So binding.irb. Let me see what's going on there. Okay, so likes. We have likes where, I see. Yeah, I need to find the first one because that's an array. So where user ID is user.id. So this is an array. And I'm calling destroy on this. So that's causing the error. Where that's a confusing error. So I'm going to destroy all because I should not have more than one here. Okay, so that's passing. Right, so I now have an unlike method. Oops. And now unliking a post works. And I should probably add a feature or a scenario for broadcasting stuff, or maybe just actually a scenario would be better. So like I have here, I can see multiple. Yeah, that's not a very good name. Others can see the likes. Given I like my post, when someone else likes my post, nah, that's not what I want. Can see multiple likes. That's somewhat confusing. Others can see the unlikes. Others can see unlikes. The unlikes. Okay. Given I liked my post and someone else likes my post, so when someone else likes my post, that's not the best phrasing. And I open a second browser window. When I unlike my post, and someone else watches my post. When I unlike my post, then the other person sees the number of likes decrease without reloading the page. It's not the best phrasing possible, but you get the message. Obviously, if you have more time to think through these scenarios and wording and stuff, it's a lot better. But since I don't want to waste too much time on that, I'm gonna go with this. Okay, so liking steps, do I have that? No. Posts. Okay. So someone else watches my post is the same thing as I open a second browser. So I can do this, or I can reuse this this step here. So I can do, step like that. Like that. And that reuses the previous step. So I need to sign up in a different browser. And then the other person sees the number of likes decrease. Okay, so this should be 0 likes. undefined dynamic step. Okay. Step. I think it's without the quotes. Okay, so that's working. Let's now switch to the browser and test this ourselves. First of all, I want to get rid of that alt state because that will probably create some problems. Okay. So now, if we like this, this like is broadcasted. And now if I click again, the same, right? And now from the other side, 2 likes, 1 like, 2 likes, 1 like. Cool. So that seems to be working fine. I think that's a good point to commit all of that. Unlike that. Okay. Oops. Added unlike. Cool. So this is working fine, and you saw how to use StimulusReflex. And now we have about 15 minutes left. So I'm wondering what we should do. There is so the things that I wanted to do are first make this a touch prettier by using Tailwind CSS. So that's one thing. And then the other one was to add comments, but I don't want to make this stream series too long, so I'm probably gonna stream today and tomorrow. What day is tomorrow? Yeah, I'm probably gonna stream till Friday, so I think we have some time left to add both of those. But for now, let me just try to add some, not too much, but just some styling here to make this look better. Okay, let's go to Tailwind CSS. So first of all, we need Tailwind installed, and I'm not sure if I've added that. Tailwind CSS. I think I did, but just to make sure, I'm gonna try it again. Okay. Let's see if we have any documentation here. Installation. Let me see if that works. So application CSS. It's probably is I think that's that import thing needs to be an SCSS file. We'll find out soon. Seems to be working. And this needs to go into JavaScript as well. Okay, so that's probably gonna be enough to have this working. Looks like Webpack can compile all that without any problems. Okay, so let's try something. Do we have any layout stuff? Layout container. Okay, so let's add this. Should probably center everything, which would be nice. Application HTML. Okay, so I'm gonna have a div here, get a class of container and MX auto, and then close that div. And nothing happens. Yeah, so I don't think that's working. Let me also run the Webpack dev server, because that compiles everything much faster. Okay, so that's not working. JS. Do we have any CSS? We should, because we can see that we can see the card. Okay, so that's working. And I'm guessing these imports are working as well. It's just a guess. To center a container, use MX Auto. But it doesn't look like it doesn't look like the like the Tailwind CSS is there. So if I look at these classes, I don't see anything. Do I need to install anything? Let's go back to the installation. Is there anything about Rails? I'm wondering if I need to add something to Webpacker. There is a gem, but I want to use this package. Okay. So I need a configuration file. Or at least I think I do. So that's the config. I don't care about those. Post CSS config. Okay. Post CSS config. So here I need to add this require like that. Tailwind. Application CSS. Post CSS 8. What is that? So it looks like some conflicting compatibility issues. Let's see if that fixes it. Compat. Post CSS compatibility build. Not sure if any of that worked, but who knows? Man, there are a lot of packages there. So this latest package requires post CSS 8, which I probably don't have, and that's why I'm getting the error. Well, let's try that again. I'm not even sure what post CSS 8 is and why it's not built in. Post CSS 8. So it looks like I do have post CSS 8. So why is it complaining? Maybe this one's better. Huh. Hopefully that works. So I can see something here, like these things were not there before, right? And so you look at the margins, I have some padding around those margins, so that seems to work. And now let me see if I can figure out how to shrink that a little bit. So max width, padding X. So padding X and then size. Okay. Padding. Okay, so if I do application HTML and then px minus, and what is size? Not sure what size is. Is it pixels? Let's try it. Pixels. No, it's probably not pixels. Justify content. But no, I don't really width. Okay, so width. Can do all sorts of widths. Pixels, width 1 pixels. Interesting. So what if I do width 600 pixels, like that. Okay, so something did change, but I don't think it's what I expected. Max width. So yeah, so maybe a container is not the best. Okay, so now, do I have a width? No. So these are rems, and then for pixels you should use px. Okay. Fixed width number, or okay, so that doesn't work. I'm guessing I need to do something like that, but that's 1 pixel, right? Yeah. And then how do you set a fixed width in pixels? Maybe that. I don't think that the documentation does a good job, or maybe I'm missing something. So width, let's say 200 pixels. Does that work? No. Tailwind, width, and pixels. Yeah, I guess I think I understand why it's not ideal to set the width in pixels, but for this case I'm not sure how else. Okay, let's try that their way. So let's not set the width in pixels. Instead, let's use a number or a percentage. Width. Okay, so maybe rems. So 10 rems. 10 rems is no, it's not 10 rems. 40, maybe 40 rems. Doesn't go up that high. Okay, let's do 50%. Okay, so that works. And now, how do I center line? Self-center. Margin. So what I want is to set the margin to auto. Okay, M auto. I haven't used Tailwind at all, and I'm not convinced it's such a good thing. So what this does is it creates a div which is going to be 50% of the total width, and then our inner div, so the post div, should kind of adapt to that width. So my Instacart class does have a fixed width, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so let's remove that. Okay, so this takes the whole width of the layout, which makes it a little wider, but it also adapts to the browser window, so that's good. And we're a little over time, so I'm going to wrap it here. As you can see, we have a few problems with the icons, but I'm probably going to fix that tomorrow and then see if we still have time to add comments. So I think that's all for today, and if you do have questions or comments, feel free to add in the comments box below, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 9, I don't remember. So have a good day, see you tomorrow.